We are going to start with our webinar in a few seconds. Please get ready. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, friends from ICLEI. My name is Liu Ge from ICLEI. I would like to welcome all of you to attend our webinar, Urban Transition Alliance series. So I would like to remind all of you so that we are going to have the simultaneous interpreting between English and the Chinese. So please have a check on this interpreting function. So you may see a globe on the bottom of the Zoom function. Please choose the right channel to stay in this channel. Okay, we're going to start with today's webinar. So first of all, please allow me to introduce about this webinar, as well as the project. The project name is Urban Transition Alliance. We take this UTA as the abbreviation. This is supported by the Mercator Stiftung and is also implemented by ICLEI. So this is to support to provide the opportunities for the companies and the cities to develop this sustainable development goals. Under this framework, so we have the partners from China, Germany, Finland, totally 16 city governments to join our ICLEI framework. Today, we have also invited the representatives from Chinese and the German city representatives. We are very happy that we still can make it possible during this pandemic time to meet each other on this webinar. So this is the agenda for today. So we would like to encourage all the city representatives and the company representatives to join this platform to talk about these problems, challenges. So on this platform so that we can learn from each other. So today we are going to focus on this cooperation between cities and the companies to unlock this development potential for this urbanization process, and also to tackle all the challenges which the city are facing. So this webinar is going to be divided in two parts. As for the first part, we're going to invite the representatives from Shijiazhuang and from the Yuhua district, from Essen City, and also from this Beijing Economic Technology Development, as well as from the Gaskirchen to provide their project case studies. And in the second part of this webinar, I would like also to welcome my colleagues from ICLEI as Dr. Zheng to moderate this Q&A session and the discussion session. So first, I would like to invite the Regional Director of the China representative of ICLEI in China, Mr. Zhu Shu, to give this welcome speech. So, Mr. Zhu, are you there? We cannot hear your voice. Hello, Mr. Zhu. Sorry, there may be some internet access problems. Mr. Zhu, wait a moment. He should be joining in a few seconds. Mr. Zhu, we still cannot hear your voice. We cannot see you either. It could be some internet problems at your side. Sorry. So we do have some technical problems with the internet. So Mr. Zhu Shu is trying to relog again to the Zoom. Please wait a few seconds. Mr. Zhu, are you back in the Zoom meeting? Okay. We cannot hear your voice very clearly. Okay, we only heard the word hello and not the rest of your voice. Sorry. Okay. So Mr. Zhu has some problem with the internet access. And so then we will just move to the next agenda. So we'll ask the case study presentation. So Yuhua, Mr. Bian has another meeting, and so now we are asking his colleagues, Madam Cui, to make the presentation on behalf of him with the topic steering change and mobilizing green mobilities in the industries in Yuhua District.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of Yuhua District Government, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar and thank you for your support. Sustainable development is a common concept and pursuit of human society. The role of environmental protection industry is in this process is self-evident. In recent years, Yuhua District continues to invest in financial, technological, and human investment in the green industry. In 2017, Yuhua Science and Technology Bureau joined the ICLAI Urban Transformation Alliance to learn from other member units and share ideas for development. In this period, we further promote our development. From 2018 to 2020, Hebei Provincial Science and Technology Development evaluated its 168 counties, cities, and districts for innovation capacity and rated Yuhua A class with 80+ scores. In 2020, Yuhua Science and Technology Bureau was awarded the Advanced Unit in Science and Technology Management in Hebei Province by provincial departments. We have in our district one national incubator, 2 provincial incubators, and 14 provincial municipal makerspace. There is 1 national star space, 3 provincial star space, 20 municipal innovation centers, 13 academician work stations, and 2 pilot units for provincial R&D institutions. I will share some of the report on our work. Firstly, industry leaders are to play a leading role with resources, innovation, and entrepreneurship. In Yuhua, we cultivate companies through funding, business training, and guidance. In recent years, we select outstanding high-tech companies with strong innovation capability and support them in technology research, platform building, and favorable policies. We have created a number of innovative companies. Jiacheng and Huaqing are both publicly listed companies in our district. Industry leaders are given the role to promote environmental protection industry in our district. During the pandemic, Shijiazhuang Minkang Water Treatment Technology Company fulfilled its social responsibility by donating 600 barrels of disinfectant worth 30,000 RMB to our district. Green companies in our district currently cover end-of-pipe treatment, including sewage, air pollution control, solid and hazardous waste disposal, soil remediation, sanitation equipment and services. And they also offer life cycle treatment, including front-end control, such as environmental monitoring. In addition, we actively support leading companies to build key laboratories, innovation centers, research institutes, and other platforms. Our bureau improves our service system to better provide science and technology, talent, and legal services to the companies. Currently, the organization department of the district party committee optimizes its talent attraction work to improve our talent policies and services. We also offer legal services for private companies. The VR Wisdom Park in our district can be viewed by scanning a QR code and visit 5 enterprises in a 3D space map for immersive experience. During the pandemic, we also introduced a document concerning 100 questions on legal knowledge related to resumption of work and production. We also organize cloud classroom trainings, which are available at all times. Secondly, we give full play to regional advantages and activate development potential. Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei development is a major regional strategy proposed by our state government, turning our region into innovation growth engine and eco-demonstration area. We have introduced a number of policies to facilitate the growth. Our government and business have been working with quality resources from Beijing and Tianjin to deepen cooperation in innovation and promote the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei integration strategy. We communicate with Beijing Daguo Huigu Company through WeChat about setting up their branch here. We invited Zhang Yanhua, Secretary General of the M&A Committee of the Beijing Equity Investment Fund Association, to lecture on innovative service models for swift resumption of production post-COVID for companies and with financing needs. We signed MOUs with universities to attract talent and develop technical service platforms. We further integrate industry, academia, research, and application. Hebei Huaqing Environmental Technology Company achieved cross-regional development. The government and companies putting efforts and work together with a broader vision, higher targets, and more powerful initiatives for docking Beijing and Tianjin resources and for providing a highway for companies to grow. Thirdly, we build exchange platforms for more modes of cooperation. We have compiled a directory of energy saving companies in our district and promote them to Southeast Asia and Belt and Road countries and regions through the ICLAI Urban Transition Alliance. In 2018, we attended the ICLAI conference on UTA on urban transformation in Montreal, Canada, held once every 3 years with 1,500 city representatives and 120 mayors and governors. The voice of Yuhua was heard at the conference. For 2 years in a row, we smoothly held the Belt and Road Yuhua Summit. We facilitate open, international, and collaborative environment. We work to build a new system with departmental cooperation, industry focus, dense high-tech network, and strong urban transformation. In 2019, we invited the Secretary General of ICLAI to visit us and several top leading companies in our district. We are continuing our efforts to facilitate innovation and urban transformation in our district. We work together with and establish partnerships with institutions in Beijing and set up platforms also with Tsinghua University and other educational institutions to further commercialize technological achievements by business in our district. We support science and technology resource sharing platforms and encourage the establishment of commercialization bases. Zhidi High-Tech Company is to build an international technology transfer center in Yuhua for stronger influence. We will also rely on the city business collaboration. And we also rely on the ICLAI platform to introduce more foreign environmental protection companies to our district. As we start the 14th five-year plan period, China makes a solemn commitment to the international community to achieve carbon peak by 2030 and carbon neutrality by 2060. The environmental protection industry will develop with better quality and efficiency. This will trigger a technological revolution marked by decarbonization, give rise to new theories, methods, and tools in basic research, promote major disruptive innovations, and provide the international community with much space for cooperation and innovation. The Ministry of Science and Technology is working on the action plan and technology roadmap. Hereby, we encourage more companies to firstly go out and broaden their horizons, understand industry trends with an open mind instead of sitting inside closed doors. Second, learn something. Learning helps find and fill the gaps, make up for the shortcomings, and improve in performance. Learn from best cases and leading peers is highly recommended. Thirdly, we will strengthen up and leapfrog forward, encourage companies to build national, provincial, and municipal innovation platforms, use new methods, means, and ways to develop new markets and enhance competitiveness. We will further introduce support policies for business innovation, activate resources, and develop sophisticated industries. We will give full play to the leading role of experts and entrepreneurs in innovation and attract talents from overseas to bring their projects to our district. If we bring in a talent, there will be a team and then a company will be established. This will shorten the incubation time. We have completed the revision of our document number 18, several measures on promoting scientific and technological innovation, solicited opinions from entities, and passed the competition review and legality audit of normative documents, and submitted to the executive meeting of the district government for consideration. This policy will attract more talent, projects, and advantageous companies so that the companies will take root in our district. Wish today's webinar a complete success. Thank you.
Thank you very much for Madam Cui for your speech. Yuhua in the Shijiazhuang has already started with his project starting from 2017 and has been a very active partner at ICLEI. On behalf of ICLEI, I would like also to thank for your great contribution and also for your participation at this webinar. And now, so we have already got some more pictures about how it is done in the Yuhua district, so in the Shijiazhuang city. So we are expecting more and more successful projects from the Yuhua district. So also together with ICLEI and with this inputs from ICLEI, and we hope that we can also support you for realizing your strategy. So now that's for this Chinese presentation. Now we already have Zhu Shu already on board. So he's back to the seminar. So let's have a try if we can hear his voice. Okay, so Mr. Zhu, could you try to speak a few words? Could you say a few words, please? No, we still cannot get your voice. No, so the internet does has a problem. Okay, then so according to our agenda, then we will move to the next agenda. So let's welcome so Mr. Sebastian Schlecht. He is the Strategic Management Department of the Environment, Mobility and Sport, so Green Capital of Europe, Essen. So his topic is leveraging climate actions through cross-sectoral financing. So Sebastian, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here, and thanks for this great presentation from Yuhua district we have already seen. I'm from Essen, as you already see on the slide. We are a city in the heart of Europe. Maybe if you switch to the next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. You see, the city of Essen is a part of a huge metropolis area. We are 5 million people in the area, and 600,000 of them do live in Essen. And we have a history of a heavy industrialization process, and we are still working in the transformation and continuing it to become also a climate resilient and climate neutral region. Next slide, please. As a short history storyline, we already had a green transformation concept and the beginning of the industrialization, because already then people noticed that green is an important part of cities, but sometimes it struggled in the times of the need of the big industries and the industrialization processes. But we are on the way, and we have been the Green Capital 2017 from a green transformation. And you see here an example on the water issue as one of the topics we are working very strong. And since some decades, the transformation of a river, a reconstruction of a river from an open sewer system, which it was for nearly 100 years. Next slide, please. And there is one project also connecting to the business sector. The green transformation also needs a huge empowerment and impact of green businesses and landscaping businesses. And the EMSHA conversion itself is one of the biggest construction sites of Europe, and it also includes a huge construction of closed sewer and pipes and engineering. So we are in the city area working on a green network. It's called New Ways to the Water. And this green network is using the old pathways on the our river or sewer systems, and also using old trainways, railways, and to be transformed to cycling, walking, and green paths through the city. And we involve also jobless people in the program, and being part of an educational program for unemployed, so that we can also support social and other needs with building the green city. Next slide, please. But in an integrated management approach, the Green Capital also helps us to develop the city in different indicators. The Green Capital idea brought 12 indicators to the city of Essen, from climate change, traffic, green space, biodiversity, air quality, noise, waste, water, wastewater, eco-innovation, power efficiency, and environmental management. We are working on these 12 indicators, and we are using them as an integrated approach on the city development. Next slide, please. And this year, the first time, we also reported on all 12 indicators in a first complete report since 2017. And we are going to continue this process every year. And we are also including green jobs, education, and business strategies in the report. Next slide, please. Only if you are interested, the European European Commission published this Green City tool, which is quite interesting and easy to use to get an idea of the 12 indicators and the green capital management system. Next slide, please. What is really interesting is that since we have been the green capital, we had huge support also from lots of businesses from our city. We are in the heart of the old steel and coal mining area, but also we are a center of the energy companies of Germany. And so we already have left some industries in the area which produce different products from aluminium and steel. And also we have lots of innovative businesses and startups, and we try to work with them together in the Green Capital Partner Network. And this is a city to business network. And we try to get a movement with all the partners to support our transformation of the whole city, because we cannot front run only with the city administration. We need a network and partners. Next slide, please. One of the examples we are just working on now is the High Experts, a partnership for a strong hydrogen ecosystem through sector coupling. This is an example where we all are partnering with industries, with our mobility sector, with our waste management, with our heating sector, and our water management organizations. And we also are inventing a project that is trying to couple different sectors in the heating sector, so that we can exchange heat from businesses to real estate to also office uses, so that buildings and different partners can exchange heat of their processes and of their needs, and we can couple this to a hydrogen ecosystem. Next slide, please. In terms of the UN SDG idea, we are now working on a sustainability plan, also with a huge network and partnering up with also many NGOs and other partners of this actors of our city's society. And we are integrating the 12 indicators idea and upgrading them to the SDG so that we will still continue our reporting system on the green city, but also work hard on this SDG strategy. Next slide, please. We are now working with Urban Transition Alliance on the challenge to look for new opportunities for climate action and adaptation measures and support them through cross-sector financing. And this is a process we are just starting up now for the next month, and we hope to be able to collect even more strong partners concentrating on that issue and work out a process and a concept during the next month. Next slide, please. So we are looking for the interlinking of risks of climate change, urban green, infrastructure, climate action, people, residents, the places of our city, and the health of our citizens. And we believe that there is a strong interlinking even in the financial flows of these sectors. And we try to bring partners onto one roundtable to discuss how we can support each other so that there will be a win-win situation and also a great step forward for climate adaptation and mitigation measures. Next slide, please. This is a short overview. We are working with a climate adaptation plan in the city administration, our health department, coupling with clean air plans and financial departments. And we are partnering with the university and research teams and the German Weather Service, which has an office in Essen, and who is the professional for all climate change measures, even on the city level. And we also involve private sector companies and insurance companies and finance institutes in that roundtable situation, which we will kick off tomorrow. Next slide, please. And we also believe that we have to learn from each other. So there is no one solution someone can find alone. So we are also very interested in further cooperation and exchange on the international level. And we are also member of the Government of Mayors. Thank you also ICLAI for the support with the Urban Transition Alliance. We also support the Decade of Restoration of Ecosystems, and we are involved in the Green Capital Network and in the Eurocities network. Next slide, please. So thanks again for giving me the chance to present the city of Essen here. And I'm looking very much forward for further discussions and informations.
Thank you very much, Sebastian Schlecht, for your presentation. Essen is a green capital in Europe. So from Sebastian's presentation, we can see there are many practices from them that we can learn from. They transitioned from the former industrial base to a green development. We also learned about how Essen establishes network for city business cooperation to achieve their carbon neutrality goals. This is exactly what our webinar is discussing today. And in China, where the government is also promoting the work to be done to realize carbon neutrality. So thank you again, Sebastian, for your input. And Now we will invite our third speaker from Beijing Economic Technological Development Area, Ms. Yao Jing. She's from the Zero Waste City Task Force in E-Town, and she's talking about a circular economic pact towards green and low carbon development. Welcome. Distinguished guests, greetings. I'm glad to take part at today's webinar at the invitation of ICLAI. Today, I will share with you some of the practices in our BDA as to how we work towards a circular economy in our industrial park. First of all, I would share with you some policy background. Next slide, please. In 2020, the guidelines on establishing a modern environmental governance system was released. It is the first document to focus on reforming eco-civilization system and modernize the environmental governance system and capacity. The document brings forward the goal to establish a government leadership, a social full engagement network, and a network of business to support the implementation of the guidelines. Therefore, we can see that this document offers general guidelines and incentives to engage the whole society in the process of building an environmental governance system. And this the governance system will transition from the past single management by the government to a multi-actor process. And it has also clarified the joint responsibilities of the government, the general public, and business. Such a document plays a key role and guidance for future development. In 2020, we have further clarified carbon reduction goals. And our President Xi Jinping pledges to reach carbon neutrality by 2060, which brings new challenges to cities in building resilience to climate change and pursuing low carbon development. In 2018, a pilot work plan for building zero waste cities has been introduced with 16 cities and regions as pilots, including our BDA. And the goal of this development is to realize sound environment and quality environment for the future. As for our industrial park, we focus mostly on building green industries, enhance our risk response capabilities, and lead a green lifestyle. And we focus on energy and resources. We aim to foster a low carbon development pattern in our industrial park with support policies and industry systems. That is some general information about policies. Now I would like to give you some information about BDA. It's located in Beijing, in the southeast part of Beijing, established in 1992. And in 1994, it was approved as a national level economic zone. In 2011, we started taking measures to develop BDA into a national economic industrial demonstration park. And we focus on green industries and seek to upgrade our park. And to lead a way to demonstrate how circular economy could be done in the city of Beijing. Some about some main practices and results in our zone, we focus on both the green and low carbon industries as well as industrial upgrade. And in the process, we require the business or the companies in our zone to adopt cutting-edge technologies and invest in environmental projects. And when, as for new companies to be settled in the zone, we also have a very strict selection process to make sure the companies are green, low carbon, and environmental. And we introduce measures to facilitate companies to reduce their emission and pollution discharge. Today, I would like to share with you our experience. We believe that in developing green economy, you cannot only rely on the government. You must give the role to play to the business. For BDA, we are a green industrial park certified by relevant state ministries in China. We have promoted several measures and policies for green and low carbon development. We establish partnerships with educational institutions as well as research institutes. We also create patent pools with the development institutions, and we establish a licensed technology trading platform as well as a funding platform. Currently, our BDA has attracted about 30,000 companies from over 40 countries, including 90 Fortune 500 companies. Here you can see some of our results from transforming the industries in our zone. In 2020, our cumulative mean concentration of PM 2.5 was 44 microgram per cubic meter. Energy consumption per unit of GDP, it was 0.14 ton of coal equivalent, which is a leading level in China. And we emphasize on efficiency and optimization measures to further bring down the carbon emission. I would like to share with you some case studies in our development zone. First is a case study of industrial water conservation demonstration park. The BDA has become China's first national industrial water conservation demonstration park. It takes the lead in comprehensively developing water resources. As you can see in the picture, in our BDA, we have two wastewater recycling plants, and the quality of the recycled water is very high. And in this way, we are able to recycle water in our BDA so that we can reuse the water and save the resources. And at the same time, we encourage companies to save water, use recycled water, and formulate this circular water system. The company waters are also encouraged to recycle internally. This is the water management for the whole BDA. In this case study, we can see that there are these 2 wastewater recycling plants in our zone, and we encourage some companies to use 100% wastewater. This case study concerns several companies in our BDA. And this SMIC is the leader for this project. That's here. Now we come to a second case study, that is the intercompany recycling. As you can see, we have this CR Power GCL with a power generation company. They generate waste heat, then which is supplied to a company called BOE, and this company then takes the waste heat and generates steam, hot water, and cold water, which will be further recycled by other companies. And in this way, we are able to recycle the heat, water, power. And that is what we have been doing in our district to facilitate intercompany recycling. Through this recycling, we are able to reduce soot emissions by about 3,713 tons, sulfur dioxide emission by about 825 tons, and nitrogen oxide emissions by about 1,500 tons each year. The cooling project also saves 12 million kilowatt hours of power per year for corporate users. Now we come to another case study concerning intra-company recycling. This is a company in our district. It's a demonstration project, and this company has installed 7 measures. As you can see, there's a ground source heat pump for heat supply and cooling. The roof is fully covered by PV power station, able to generate power for its daily lighting use. And they also use a solar water system there to supply hot water to the company. And this water is used for showering, washing hands, etc., and canteen use. This company also has a wastewater recycling system and rainwater collection system to create their internal water recycling system. In this way, this company has utilized all the available natural resources within its company. According to calculation, the heat pump that is used in this company could greatly reduce carbon emissions. Every year, it reduces over 1,000 tons of carbon emission. The solar systems as well as the PV systems also further reduces carbon emissions. This power generation by PV could also relieve its dependence on the state grid network. That is what a company could do on a company level. A very good case practice by this company to reach a certain level of self-sufficiency. Now we come to the next case study. I would like to share with you about product recycling by companies. The case comes from Mercedes-Benz. It's a renowned company, and they have a full production facilities in BDA. It is one of their only full production facilities outside Germany. And the project was optimized with support from the government and their own input. You can see, take packaging, for example. This company starts to use recyclable packaging to reduce packaging waste. And Benz has a lot of components that they have to ship from other locations worldwide, which means that packaging becomes, they generate a lot of packaging waste. And to reduce this packaging waste, we have helped them to develop an optimized packaging solution to reduce the waste in this regard. And the packaging outcome of this project could be recycled. Therefore, this would greatly reduce waste used for packaging the components by this company. And in the past 2 years, they have reduced carton packaging by about 100,000 tons. And this best practice has also encouraged Chinese and overseas suppliers to reduce packaging. Benz in Beijing has also applied leading technologies. For example, painting technology and some other leading technologies to optimize their production process and reduce industrial waste. The result is rather impressive. This will also help them save costs. We have another company in our district that is called the BOE. They establish a green product management system and green product laboratory and control strictly the content of harmful substances in products. All of these efforts could help reduce the environmental pollution discharged from the entire industrial value chain and make the industries more green and low carbon. These cases are all from our BDA, showing how business could recycle their resources and create a circular economy while reducing carbon emissions. The government plays a guidance role in the process. We continuously introduce policies to support companies to conduct these measures, and we work together with business to jointly develop green economy. And we also help companies to tackle challenges in the process and improve the entire process. Only when business takes the becoming actors can we really realize a circular economy. And we also need to respect companies and to take their considerations seriously. Of course, they need to consider costs, they need to consider investments. These are all factors that we should also help them better balance. And in this way, we could help companies to become more green and contribute to low carbon and green development of the economic zone as well as the region at large. Today, I shared with you several practices in our BDA in promoting green and circular development. And all of these cases are our attempts at the moment, and we look forward to discussing with you and hear from your feedback. And we are actively engaged in Ikilai urban transition process, and we look forward to exchange with our experts so that we can jointly promote and contribute to the process. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Yao, for your case study sharing, so that we can get a very close view about what you have done, and you have also visualized all the case studies implemented in the economic development zone, as how the government and the companies are working hand in hand to promote the sustainable development. I'm sure that this is going to be also the trend which we also promote. And you have been also making a very good example to collaborate with the academic institutes and also companies together for a sustainable development. So this is a wonderful case study. So you have also made a very good example for all other peers. And we hope that we stay in contact, and we hope that the eClay platform could also broadcasting your good case studies, so that more and more cities could learn from you. Now let's welcome the last speakers for today's webinar. Which is Mr. Stefan Rath, the project manager from the Gelsenkirchen Science Park, with the topic innovative approach to cooperating in reaching emission and reducing between city and private business. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm a project manager at Science Park Gelsenkirchen. That's a business and technology center closely tied to the city and municipality of Gelsenkirchen. And I'm here to talk about our approach in cooperating with private businesses in reducing emissions. Yeah, just a short introduction. The city of Gelsenkirchen is, as you can see, located in the western part of Germany, in the middle of one of its most densely populated areas, the Ruhr region. And next slide, please. And as you can see, just like Essen, Gelsenkirchen is a city of change, still heavily characterized by ongoing structural change. It has about 260,000 inhabitants, a very high rate of unemployment still, and the city is low on funds due to low tax revenues, still characterized by the loss of the industrial legacy. The city is also characterized still by ongoing weaknesses, high pollution and emissions. They have job loss in the legacy sectors, and we believe that the focus on a clean energy transformation can benefit the structural change and also raise equity as well as the quality of life for the inhabitants. Next slide, please. Yeah, so, and facing the climate change, the municipality is now drafting a new ambitious climate action plan focusing on 2030 and 2050. It's currently in development, and it incorporates measures of climate protection as well as climate adaptation. And, you know, looking at the speed and the effects of climate change and looking at how they increase in speed and intensity, the municipality also decided to switch to a carbon budget methodology to accommodate the Paris Agreement goals. So instead of yearly reduction goals, we're looking at a Paris compatible carbon budget that's left for the city to, you know, emit in the coming years. And these are ambitious goals, but they also will be compatible with the national reduction goals of Germany for 2030, as well as the Paris Agreement. So this decision was made to tackle that gap of ambition you can see here, which is usually left out in the discussion of local climate action plans. Next slide, please. Yeah, and what we're seeing is a special kind of challenge in Gelsenkirchen, which we're also discussing with the Urban Transition Alliance. And it's a challenge, or the realization that ambitious reduction goals in the past on the local level mostly failed due to insufficient contribution of the private sector, especially the energy, housing, industrial sector. But these are sectors with the greatest potential for emission reductions, but they are also sectors where generally the city government has very little influence historically. So we realized for ambitious reduction goals, we need the support of all the sectors in the cities. And how do you successfully engage those local businesses to contribute to climate action on their own? You know, how do they take the initiative? How do we incentivize them? How do we motivate them? And that's the challenge of Gelsenkirchen I'm here to talk about today. So next slide, please. And to face that challenge, we came up with, a kind of a new networking approach that we call the Climate Forum, you know, like an arena of all the stakeholders and players. And it's a network we are planning to, or it's a network where we try to connect and encourage stakeholders in the city to develop projects to tackle climate change and adaptation processes on their own, supported by the city's efforts, so that the private businesses on the other hand, can support the ambitious reduction goals the city will soon pass, which it won't ever realistically be able to reach on its own. And this tool, the Climate Forum, this network will be maintained by Science Park, by us, because we have a long history of climate-related projects. We have many connections to local businesses and are in a kind of a neutral position opposed to, you know, the city municipality. And with this networking tool, we can also free human resources on the municipality level for more pressing social matters, because, you know, staff is short, so we try to support the city in any way. Next slide, please. And this forum consists of two kinds of approaches that we are continually tweaking, also thanks to the input provided to us by the UTA and its members. And one of the approach is a methodological approach. So we are building, or we have built, a website where we try to communicate local best practices of so-called pioneers to other businesses, to motivate them to, you know, see this and act like them. And we are also building a separate space on LinkedIn as an established platform where members can share knowledge and connect on a more operational level. And we are embedding this network digitally at first, one to better handle the complexity and speed in, you know, initiating such kind of projects, and also to kind of generate a network that is fit for long-term and resilient, especially in face of COVID-19 in the last year and this year still. And the other kind of approach is a more strategical approach where we're using communication and networking strategies to achieve real commitment of members and non-members, where we try to build convincing cases, you know, economic cases also for restructuring and investing in green technology, and where we try to, almost pressurize businesses by pointing to best practices of their peers. So we're trying to address the stakeholders so they commit themselves to climate action in a reliable way, where the city is only supporting their own actions. And the forum actually just went public a few days ago, and we're now in the middle of connecting to more stakeholders in the city and try to reach a, you know, critical mass to really incite action. Next slide, please. Yes, and just a quick digression to show the kind of cooperation which we're aiming for with the Climate Forum is a project that's just developed recently in the very last few weeks. It's about the harbor area in Gelsenkirchen. As you can see here in the picture, a very heavily industrialized area. And just recently, next slide, please. Next one further, thank you. One of the middle-sized companies in the area explored ideas of decarbonization by using the coke oven gas from a nearby site a few cities away. Coke oven gas is a kind of mix between natural gas and H2. So the Science Park was able to connect this company with the coke oven site nearby and involve even more companies. And now more companies than only one are exploring the use of coke oven gas, which is very, you know, hydrogen rich, and they want to use it as a bridge technology until complete 100% clean green hydrogen is available for firing their processing heat generators. So the Science Park, along with the city of Gelsenkirchen, of course, is coordinating this process, is building an initiative where we can connect to other players in the area. We're providing advice and knowledge transfer, and we're also helping with access to subsidies. So we are only supporting the initiative of the companies on the ground level, and the result we're seeing is that previous uninterested private businesses now talk about emission reductions on their own, exploring new ideas, and the municipality and science park can then support this on a political level to really get the initiative going. And you can also see the variety of companies in the area. We are now talking with a galvanizing plant, an aluminium smelter, molting plant, chemical production. So there are really heavy industries previously not really interested in green technologies or not able to technology also, which are now on their journey to carbon neutral industry in a very, very quick pace. And this is, next slide, please. This is a cooperation project we're hoping to initiate further as part of our climate forum activities. And that's about it. And I'd like to thank you very much for having me and for your attention. So thank you again.
Thank you, Stefan, for your introduction. We have learned about Gelsenkirchen Park and your climate forum and how you use this platform to facilitate the city business cooperation to reduce carbon emission. This is a very innovative tool and effective at the same time. In the future, we can learn from this model and explore how we could promote Chinese city and business to work together towards carbon neutrality goals. This could be a good practice for us to learn from. Thank you again, Stefan, for your input. Now we will continue with and go on to the second part of our webinar. I would like to invite my colleague, Dr. Yingqi Deng, to moderate the next session.
Thank you so much, Liuge. Thank you. First, I would like to invite perhaps the Chinese speaker. You can switch to the suitable language option because in the following session, I would like to moderate in English. 所以首先我想邀请我们说中文的参与者可以切换到适合的语言模式，因为接下来
please choose your channel, language channel. The discussion will be conducted in English. Thank you.
Okay, allow me just quickly introduce myself. It's Yingqi Deng. I'm the project manager of Urban Transition Alliance. So I have such a pleasure. And currently, I'm based in the office in Germany, in Bonn. So today I will be moderating this event. First, I would like to thank all the speakers. You're very valuable sharing with us your very valuable experience. At the same time, I have seen some familiar names, not the face, but at least the name. So we see Bogna from Katowice, and we see Dr. Duncan Booker from Glasgow City Council, and we also see Daniela. So these familiar names from Urban Transition Alliance. Thank you for your participation. So I think today's session presents a very precious opportunity, allow us really to understand different mechanisms to engage with business community in China or also in Europe, so we can really learn from each other. So first, I would really like to open the floor, allow questions to come in, especially regarding to our presentation earlier. So if you have any question regarding to the previous 4 presentation, you can either type in your question in the Q&A button, which you can find on the bottom part of the panel, or you can simply raise your hand, then we will bring you in to the discussion and question session. And very firstly, I have a question. Actually, is from Sebastian to Miss Chu from Yuhua District. Sebastian has two questions for Miss Chu. And the first question is, do you see a successful or sustainable business development during the pandemic? This is the first question. And the second question is, do you already see the district as the blueprint for other Chinese cities? So
我第二个问题没有听清，麻烦你再说一遍。
没有听清楚，没问题。那我就稍微直接用中文稍微总结一下。所以 Sebastian 第一个问题就是说，这个
Now we repeat the question.
在这个疫情期间是否顺利？
先说第一个问题啊。
So first question, as sustainable business development, we are working to become a sustainable city. Today, we have business joining the webinar. They are also environmental protection industry, and they also might have some questions to our experts at this webinar. As for this blueprint, yes, that is our goal. We wish to set an example and contribute to sustainability and bring our experience and suggestions for other cities in China to learn from. Our environmental protection companies see this process as a good opportunity to develop. We have some questions from our side to the speakers, so I would give the floor to them. I'm from Shijiazhuang Yinkang Water Treatment Company. Our company was established in 2006, so we've developed for 15 years. Our company is dedicated to wastewater treatment, and we have developed unique technologies to treat water. And our focus is on urban water supply system and treatment of industrial wastewater. Our company focus on technology and innovation, and in the process, when we founded our company, the national policy was not yet did not have a very fine regulation of the sector, and now we have more established state policies for environmental protection. Therefore, our company could develop with this opportunity. And our company works with other educational institutions in Shijiazhuang to form partnership. In the process, we have developed patents. In 2012, in Hebei province, we have introduced more measures and to promote large-scale application of our products. In the market development process, we feel that wastewater treatment technology it still needs improvement, even though we work with research institutions to develop and improve our technologies, but we still see the gap in the company's need as to what we could offer for treating their wastewater. And we would like to take this opportunity, and we look forward to connecting with more wastewater treatment companies through Ecolai platform, and to form partnership so as to further enhance our technological capacity and maybe learn from international best practices and introduce leading technologies from other countries. For us, especially wastewater treatment, what is your specific wastewater treatment technologies? From our impression, urban wastewater treatment is becoming increasingly challenging, and the cost is also increasing. Companies may meet challenges in this regard. And the state policies to reach carbon neutrality goals, these all bring pressure to our companies. So we would like to see, to learn about how the wastewater treatment technologies in other countries. Do you have good practice for us to learn, or for us, or do you have technologies that we could maybe introduce to our district? And we are very willing to learn from you.
Thank you for your question. Sebastian has raised your hand now. I can see. Would you like to jump in, Sebastian?
Yes. So a very interesting introduction in your work. Thank you very much. And I want to connect to that question that in our region, we have a huge capacity on wastewater treatment since a long period, because our whole region was suffering from a not working wastewater system 100 years ago. And there was the idea of establishing a regional wastewater and a water management company, which is still today handling all the wastewater of this 5 million people's region. It's called the Emscher Genossenschaft. And also connected to this wastewater treatment company is the reconstruction and the renaturing of the river system. So we are handling renaturing and wastewater in a regional concept. And the interesting thing is that this is also the renaturing and the river reconstruction is coupled with a rainwater and wastewater separation process. And the financing of this whole company on the regional level, which is transforming a river system with more than 100 kilometers length in a separated sewer and natural river system, is the whole financing is done by the wastewater fees. So this is financing which is independent from taxes and from municipalities and administrations, and which is working very well. So the reconstruction of this river system and the completely new construction of a wastewater system is already ongoing for 30 years. And 100 years ago, it was a natural system, but today it is a high-tech wastewater system covering a whole region. And also the wastewater treatment in the power plants is quite interesting, and they established a completely energy neutral wastewater treatment plant, which is using the wind energy and also is using the heat from the wastewater internally, and also is the treatment plant is using the dried material from the wastewater to be burned in an energy processing generator. So the heat and the power to process the wastewater is completely generated on site. And maybe this could be interesting for you to have a look and to go exchange on, and you're very much invited to contact.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Sebastian.
you.
Thank you. Do we have further questions from Yuhua districts, from our colleagues, or from e-towns? So the burning question you would like to bring into the discussions?
首先，特别荣幸啊，参加今天下午的研讨会，尤其是我们有国际的专家。
I'm very happy to join this discussion. I'm from Hebei Zhongdong Yingde Company. We are in the environmental protection area, also in wastewater treatment and the tractor business. I have a question. How do you, in handling the kitchen waste, there is this biogas issue. How do you handle with biogas from the kitchen waste? The methane liquid. How do you deal with methane liquid? And another question is how to, our company wants to build an industry park. How do you, what should the priorities be, and how do you manage the process? Thank you.
Sebastian, would you like to take on the question again?
Yes, let me try. I'm not in all details of the waste and methane management, but in essence, so first, thank you so much for asking. And in essence, we have a separated waste collecting system for biological waste from all households. So they can have a own waste bin for biological waste, which is collected and then processed in the power plants to produce methane and use this as an energy source. So this is not by law. So this is also depending from city to city how this is handled and how it is integrated, because every city in Germany is responsible for their own waste management system. So it's different from city to city. So for industrial park is we have a huge development ongoing right now in Essen, which is called the Freiheit Emscher, the Freedom Emscher. It's a huge site, which is an abundant coal mining site between Essen and the city of Bottrop on the Emscher River. And we are discussing very hard the ways how to process this industrial park development in terms of ecological and climate adaptational measures, and also considering that the whole area was heavily used for industrial reasons for decades, and so the soil and the whole area is polluted, and it's not too easy to transform it to rainwater green areas and to combine this with industrial uses, because for sure we need also this area to have new jobs and new businesses in the city area. I'm very impressed by the wastewater recycling systems you are using in Wuhan and in E-Town. So this is what we are discussing right now. I think this is very important on the first level to reuse as much water as you can. The second is that we need to separate rainwater and wastewater as much as is possible, and to bring as much water as possible back to the natural ecosystems. And I think we should try more and more to force companies and to motivate companies also to join these ideas of circularity on the water sector and also on the energy sector. we are now starting a project which I already mentioned, that we try to exchange also heat and heat energy from businesses to private sectors, so that we can have heat sources and heat consumers connected, and also find ways to integrate industrial areas into that whole city ecosystem of energy and circularity. But also in Germany, it is always a discussion between economic and ecological reasons, how to develop the site and how it can be attractive also on the economic level for companies to settle down in Essen and to bring the business to Essen, and how affordable is it to develop this old industrial sites to new and futuristic industrial area, because we also integrate mobility needs, and we also want to bring a quality of life to this industrial park. So this is not like the gray and dirty industrial parks from former times, because this is also having a nice shore on the water side of the Emscher River, and we also want to bring quality of life to these areas where people are able to spend their free time and their leisure time there, so that this is a more multifunctional area and not only a dirty and gray industrial area. We also connecting to the Emscher ecosystem with the park and try to bring much as green as possible and integrate into that the management of rainwater and this water circularity.
Thank you, Sebastian. I found during Stefan's presentation what's really interesting, discussing they are already using very practical tools to engage with business community. So I'm wondering if Stefan has any question or curiosity you would like to maybe get to know how our counterparts in China, or what kind of tools they use to engage with the business community. Stefan, would you like to come in? And perhaps, I mean, if I'm you, I would be very curious to see what kind of tool they use, right? So
yes, and I'm generally very curious, because I already noticed that that Juha already talked about learning of shortcomings and learning from best practices and peers. And I also heard from Beijing that enterprises are the main players in green transformation and green economy. And yeah, maybe Juha could talk a bit about more about how do you transfer the knowledge of shortcomings and best practices to the businesses themselves. And you also talked about that you're using a directory of companies already using sustainable technologies, and you're also relying on knowledge transfer provided by eClai and other platforms. And how do you further transport these ideas and learnings to businesses, and how do you use them to motivate the business sector? That I'm very much interested to hear about your platforms and ideas, because so far I only knew of examples in Europe, and I know that there are some innovative approach also in Asia.
Okay, I would like to share with you about what we have done in Beijing in the development zone. We have done quite a lot of job in Beijing in this regard. In Beijing, we have done 3 steps. So first, on the macro level, for each kind of tool and policies, the government is going to provide different measures. We provide we have this is a platform. So like the WeChat platform, we have the WeChat so official platform, and this is issued by the government. It is not a newsletter or the papers in the written form. So we are in China, we are using a lot of the mobile phone platform. So we try to so promote all these new policies, new rules and measures so on this digital platform. So that the people could get all this information. We provide lots of the incentives and also the measurements so on this platform. As for the company, they may be only more interested in what it could benefit themselves, if it could bring them a profit, if it could also reduce their cost. So in case if they can find this kind of valuable measurements, valuable inputs, valuable suggestions on this platform, they will take it, they will join this group discussions. And so we also organize such kind of this company management help desk. So we so have a help desk manager. So this manager is going to be responsible for a certain industry branch, and he knows about this industry, he knows about the subject, he has all these tools available, and he could also give the answers to the companies in this industry. So the companies within this industry, they may also come to this help desk manager and to get all the information. So this is our second step. So this is almost like one-to-one, and so help desk. So the company, if they have any questions, they can respond to this help desk manager, and they may try some of the practices based on the inputs they get, or based on knowledge they get from this help desk manager. They may also be interested in participating in the pilot projects, and this help desk manager will also inform this manager, the companies, for more detailed informations, as well as also some so detailed suggestions only targeted to this specific company. We normally do not use the salon or workshop to do this general for the general knowledge broadcasting. So we believe that each company has its own requirements. Each company has its own focus, and they have their own challenges, and they are all different. So they do not only need the macro policies. They need some individualized suggestions. So this is what we are doing for our development zone management committee. So we provide, we organize this kind of different financing channels, and also we summarize all these tax incentives, and we will analyze what could be so interesting for the individual company, and we will tell the individual company what kind of incentive tools they can use, and also what kind of specific measurements in this circular economy policies this company may enjoy. For the individual, for the different phases, because the government also keeps changing the incentives and keeps changing on new policies. So once there is one incentive is issued by the government, and the help desk manager will contact the company and tell the company, okay, and listen, and this could be interesting for you, and you could also make your plan based on these new policies, and you may also enjoy the incentives provided by the government. So that's what we are doing right now.
Thank you so much for your very detailed input, Director General Yao. I think the good time always come to the end very fastly. But we do feel such a discussion today is really, really beneficial for our Alliance members. So we would definitely organize a similar event in the very close future. So we have collected all your inputs, your questions, and your needs, so to speak, in your districts. So unfortunately, due to the time issue, we are slowly now need to wrapping up the session. So at the end, I would like to again invite our regional director of East Asia Secretariat, Mr. Xu, to give us a sort of concluding remark, please, Mr. Xu.
Thank you, Inchi. Could you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you and see you very well.
Yeah, thank you. My apology again for losing the connection at the very beginning, but I think this allows more time for our distinguished speakers from the 4 cities from China and Germany to introduce their practices and stories of promoting the city business collaboration in achieving sustainable goals. So today's topic is focusing on city business collaboration. I think many of these presentations and interventions have addressed that our cities under an urbanized context are facing very similar challenges from climate change impact and also biodiversity loss, as well as the current, say, health impacts driven by the global pandemic as such. So as ICLA, we initiated this Urban Transition Alliance a couple of years ago. Now we have a dozen of participating members in this, including the 4 speakers today, that building a very good platform and partnership for peer learning exchange of different solutions addressing the common similar but also different challenges we are facing in the urban transition of these industrial legacy cities. So from the 2 cities in China, we have heard excellent stories about their governmental policies and incentives to promote the collaboration with businesses, and also based on this this very unique Chinese context that, for example, many of these industrial parks, industrial zones are led or driven by the government. So many of the support are coming from the government side, while businesses are also motivated to actively work with the government to express their concerns and also cope with the national strategy and goals, including the recently announced carbon neutrality goal by 2060, which is very ambitious given China's development status and also the rapid urbanization, industrialization, and the various issues and challenges the country is facing. Well, our colleagues also from Germany talking about their experiences, particular Sebastian introduced the Essence experiences as the European Green Capital, of which I have heard also a few times, but every time I get new insights. Particularly one concept I remember from your slides that talking about the people biodiversity. I think this is very well addressing also the international community highlight on the biodiversity year this year that we are sitting, we're standing at the turning point towards the post-2020 global biodiversity framework, and also China. Particular Kunming City is hosting this year's CBD COP15. The ICLA is also playing a role there. So I think we, for all this challenge that is highly linked with this urbanization phases, while the rapid expansion of cities in these emerging markets will drive nearly half of world GDP, but also these are also the center of where the problems coming from. So that's why we, from ICLA, we try to encourage a more active collaboration between the cities and businesses to work together to find the solutions and address common challenges. Through this UTI's platform, we could also help both sides to identify these common intervention points in line with the national or regional strategies, also addressing many of the goals set by the UN SDGs, and also sharing the international best practices, or maybe following up to such kind of exchange to replicate some of the solutions. For example, our colleagues from also the Gaussian Kitchen Park also talk about their managing the parks experiences, similar as presented by our colleagues from E-Town in Beijing. I think many things are very good to be shared with each other, also to turn into very specific solutions to be applied in your relevant context. But also through this platform, we could help disseminate the successful stories and also the policy practices. So for future scaling up. By the end, I would like to again to thank all these inputs and insights from the 4 members of UTA, and also to all the audience joining this webinar from both China, Germany, and maybe beyond. And also our colleagues from various ICLEI offices, particularly our team in Seoul and also in Bonn, for organizing this excellent event for exchange. Thank you again for participation, and we look forward to future exchange and follow-up discussions in the coming period. So stay safe and stay connected. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Zhu, and thank you, everyone. Then we see you all next time in our next event. Have a nice afternoon and nice day. Bye-bye.